So very much so looking forward to talking to you today about your business. Let's start with you. You can start with just giving me some background. Who are you for those who don't know you?
Got you. So my name is Mone't Smith. I am a licensed professional counselor supervisor. I've been in this mental health field, providing mental health therapy services to adults, teens, and in the past, children as well. Um, fully licensed since 2016, so for a while now. Um, I guess I provide telehealth, mainly telehealth services now in these days since COVID. A lot of office space shut down and never just kind of went back because to video became more convenient for everybody. So
Right.
um, just started just pathing with that. To elevate, I've been in private practice since 2020 when COVID hit. Part time, I started. I was working full time as a school counselor for middle school teens. Then I left there in 2022 and became full time private practice, providing telehealth mental health services. And now I'm licensed in the state of Texas, which is where I reside. But I also have Florida and Nevada where I provide therapy services as well. And majority of my therapy services are provided to, majority, about 90% are provided to African American women.
Wow.
Yeah. So, in working and I also have a nonprofit too. That's where I work with my teen girls mainly. I do a mentor and advocate for them. So I roll off what, like you said, donations from my counseling business and pour it into my nonprofit to help keep that going for my teen girls, ages 13 to 17.
Oh wow, that's great. So tell us about the name of your business. How did you come up with the name Healing Deep Roots Counseling?
Yes, so funny. 5 years before I actually went into private practice, really and truly, my first passion was nursing, and then I was steered a different way spiritually, I guess, and so I'm still in the medical field, just on the mental health side. But I just knew I wanted to heal. Like I feel like you see my tree in the background over here, where
Right.
I
I love
look
it.
at the root of the tree. And so a lot of our generational curses and even generational strengths, which a lot of us African Americans don't talk about the strengths, we talk about a lot of the curses, but it develops in the roots. And so
Right.
I was like, I want to help heal those roots. And so I came up with Healing Deep Roots Counseling 5 years before I even knew I was going into private practice or even going to have a counseling business. So I am definitely a dreamer. And when I dream, so far, with God's will, I've succeeded with everything. Might not be right at the time, but it's coming.
I believe that. I love the background on the name, and I agree with everything that you said. So you talked about originally, I believe you said that you were going to prefer or go down a path in nursing. So what led you to pursue your path in the mental health field?
Mhm. So I worked with Child Protective Services in the state of Texas for 8 years. I was the investigator, so I was the one who took kids out of the home. I saw how traumatized the kids were. It was most of the time was for the good cause, the better of the children, of course. But as you know, the foster care system can be a failure too. Um, so seeing that development, I was like providing therapy a lot, with the parents, with the kids, and it just laid on my heart. Um, I eventually ended up getting pregnant. I was 22 at the time, and so, but I was already working with the state, and I was like, okay, trying to get a nursing school right now just ain't gonna happen. I mean, I got to be a mama now, so applied, and actually, it's like that's when I found out I was pregnant, so I couldn't even accept. So I was like, let me just take a step back, and after working with CPS for about 4 years, then I decided, you know what, I think I want to help heal. Like I want to help people. I want to help people on this aspect, and so right now I specialize in trauma therapy.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about, I think you just answered a little bit of it, but what exactly are the different therapy services that you offer?
Okay, yeah. So specialize in trauma therapy. So I don't know if you ever heard of EMDR, which is like an eye movement, desensitization and reprocessing, trauma focused cognitive behavioral therapy. I mean, you can name a lot of them. Interpersonal motivational interviewing, client centered is one of the most ones I used as well. I'm elliptical. I meet the client's needs. Whatever the
Right.
client needs, I meet it. If I can't, I'll let you know.
So it seems from your website, I believe if I understood right, you offer therapy services in multiple states.
Hmm. Yes,
So how do you go about, can you expound on that? How do you go about doing that?
so I use the platform Calendly, where they, because it's a time difference, right? Nevada's two
Right,
hours behind, Florida's an hour ahead, and I use that platform to schedule a lot of my clients. I am a one self stop shop, so you looking at biller, secretary, admin, that's me.
right.
Um, so I do it all, but that helps keep me in my phone, helps keep me targeted with what I need to set up. If that's returning calls and then getting them set up on my calendar. And I have platforms that I do use that assist me with billing that I pay for, that also helps me keep up with the time difference and changes. So far I've been managing it pretty well. I've had some hiccups because I was like, oh, I meant 12 my time, not 12 your time.
Time,
But
right.
we figured it out. But yeah, so Calendly, of course, is a great resource. And then I use other platforms such as Headway and Alma that helps me with billing and scheduling as well.
I love me some Calendly, so I definitely agree with you on that. Calendly is very helpful and it converts you automatically to that person that scheduled time zone. So love me some Calendly. So
Yes.
from your website, it seems like a large area of your focus is on teenagers. So what is the intersection for you between teenagers and therapy or mental health?
Okay. So I, again, when I was a school counselor, I was with the middle school babies. From going from CPS, seeing a lot of the teens being left behind, to working at a psychiatric hospital, seeing a lot of the teens helping with groups and individual development. The Gen Zers are a different generation, and but they need us the most.
Mm,
And so, a prominent where I focus on a lot of the low social economically and develop, minority groups. All the ladies inside of my current group now are African American. But I don't want to leave them in the cracks. So I remember back in the day when I was in Big Sisters and, we had stuff to do. So I was like, these kids really need it and they attached to it. So I started the teen girls group, where I would meet with the girls. And focus just on mental health. And then I had that going. And then now in the spring, I'm actually going to have I'm a supervisor, so I have supervisees work underneath me. And
oh,
so I'm going
wow.
to have them run my groups when I start that back in the fall. The spring gets kind of busy because they're testing and a lot of stuff just kind
Right,
of going on. So they're going to start running that back for me in the fall. And then I transition to meet with my nonprofit, which is Teen Girls, which is separate from Healing Deep Roots Counseling. But I do meet with them bi-weekly as being that advocate and mentor. We involve in the community, we give back, we do resources for parents, and it's just I love it on that aspect. I feel like helping them in that manner. And if they need somebody to talk to, they can come talk to me. I like
I
to
was
create a safe space.
I was just gonna ask you about that. I seen on your website. I hope that I'm saying it right. That you are a board approved supervisor
Mhm.
by the Texas State Board of Examiners for Professional Counselors.
Yes,
Tongue
ma'am.
twister. So tell me about that.
So, long story short, in order to be a counselor, a licensed counselor, you have to have a master's degree. So I have a master's in forensic psychology, minor in women's studies. Well, let me back up. Let me back up. Okay, so I got associates in arts. I'm gonna name all my degrees, right?
Go ahead.
I have a bachelor's in sociology, minor in women's studies. I have a master's in forensic psychology. And then I went to take the state test for National Board of Counselors, and pass that test. Once you pass that test, you have to complete 3,000 internship hours. So it means you have to work underneath someone for 3,000 hours, which equivalent about 2 years
Oh
before they
wow.
even fully license you. So then once I did that, you have to be a counselor for 5 years before you can become a board approved certified supervisor, meaning that now I can take those underneath my wing, like someone had to take me, as
Right.
they are just getting their license. So they're a temporary license. They're called licensed professional counselors associates, meaning that they have to complete their 3,000 hours. So I take them under my wing, teach them the ropes, and get them through their 3,000 hours so then they can be fully licensed on their own.
Wow. So you're just giving back all around.
I love it. It's so funny. I love it. Like individual counseling, I like it, but I'm a very my personality matches, and I want to mentor. I want to see the world grow. I want to see you grow. Just like in therapy, though, I love seeing my clients grow, because that's what they come to me for, right? So I love giving. That's just my passion.
So, for those who are just seeking some basic tidbits or just need a refresher or looking to improve their mental health, do you have some tips or some information for them that will be helpful?
Yes. So, first thing I can say is that if you can't figure it out, we're here to help. It's
Right.
okay not to be okay. There are some good resources, especially for we're finding a therapist. We have therapy for Black girls, great website all over the United States. We have therapy for Black men. That's also another website that's all over the United States. We also can be found on Psychology Today. Um, I can say, being able to talk about a lot of things that in the past definitely affect you as an adult, that you suppress or that we encounter. Again, I talked about generational curses. It's time to break them. Let's find
Right.
a generational strength so that we can be able to equip our future children who are suffering in so many other areas to be able to break that generational curse and provide them with strengths that they can carry on to their children and so on.
So you talked about generational curses, therapy for Black men. So there's a big stigma associated with therapy and mental health. So what to you are some stigmas that are most commonly associated with mental health or that you want to break?
Mhm. One is that what we learn behavior, sum it up. Being taught that, especially Black men, don't cry, don't show emotion, that you don't talk about anything, everything that stays in this goes on this house stays in this house. Don't talk to anybody else about those things outside of this house, or I'm embarrassed or to come to talk to a therapist about what's going on, or lack of me wanting to be able to get it out because I'm having a hard time um, doing it, or I'm angry when it happens, or even that I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to feel. I don't want to
Right.
feel the emotion, and that's the biggest one.
So switching gears, lighten the mood. We ask all of our scholars, or not our scholars, we ask all of our interviewees this question because this is the Black Dot Blog, and we try to be for us, by us. And in the Black community, you often hear about a gathering where all of our cousins, aunties, and uncles gather, and we bring a dish. So my question for you is, what are you bringing to the cookout?
Like an actual cookout.
An actual cookout. What would
Uh,
you bring?
I'm bringing my famous mac and cheese.
A mac and cheese. A key part of the cookout, mac and cheese.
Baked mac and cheese. I'm from the country, so I can bake me some mac and cheese.
Love that. And keeping with the spirit of the Black Dot Blog, as I said, I am an HBCU alum. I graduated from the illustrious North Carolina A&T,
Okay.
with cum laude with my bachelor's in journalism and mass communication.
Okay. Two steps.
So I know. So I feel a deep love and pride for my HBCU. So my question to you is, what impact, I have to say, if any, do you think that HBCUs play or have in the Black community?
It's funny. It's a lot. So, me growing up in a white town, I had never heard of HBCU ever, until I moved. Well, got with my husband. I love the impact because that's actually where I take my 10 girls every summer. We go to college tour and I take them to HBCU now. So
Love
I'm
that.
HBCU all the way. What I feel that how they impact the community is being able to bring awareness that it's okay being black people have a safe space to go to college
Right.
and to be around others around them, but also individuals that can be able to get on their level, and understand them.
So going back to how we connected via the scholarship, I just wanted to know, how did you actually learn about the Black Business Scholarship?
Yeah. So I have a friend who is also a therapist. Me and her are colleagues. We work closely together. She has her own private practice too. She sent it to me. She's like, "Have you heard of this?" And I was like, "No." So I went on Instagram. You know me. You get first thing you go on social media, right? And I started looking into what you guys stood for, and how development and how you help, and went to the website, and loved it. So I was like, you know what? Let me get on here and give it a try. So that's what led me. Y'all really. huge kudos to what you started and what y'all are doing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Mhm.
So, if you were to receive the Black Business Scholarship, how would you use it for your business?
Yes, ma'am. So I will use it to help grow. My overall goal, of course, is to go back into brick and mortar. The teens need help. I want to be able to expand my business. In other words, to be able to hire employees or someone that can help to expand, because one person can't do it, right?
Right.
Not fully by themselves, but being able to grow so that I can be able to do more in the community. Currently, where I'm living at is a very rural area, but the Black community, minority community, shall I say, is growing in this area, and I want to be able to create a space of where they can come and get mental health help in person and give them resources, provide free trainings, group therapies, group like it's just a vision wellness center I want to be able to provide, and that is my goal. And I tell you, every time I dream, it's gonna come
Make it happen every single time.
every single time.
So, if you can share, because we're always looking to support anything that you have coming up, what projects do you have coming up if you can share with us?
So for Healing Deep Roots Counseling, I'm always involved in some type of, I would say, webinar. So I'm deeply in the schools. So Mansfield ISD, which is an ISD school here in Texas, uses me a lot to come talk to their teens or provide like professional development. But another big project I'm doing is with my teen girls, which is a mother-daughter brunch that I'm doing to bring a physical, mental, emotional wellness, and financial literacy to them. And so that's my source of giving back in that aspect. So that's the big next thing I have coming.
So, for someone that wants to be a part or learn more about your teen girl group, how can someone join
Uh-huh.
or get
Yeah.
more information?
Yes, so they can either, well, one, they can follow us on social media. Social media, we're on Instagram at, I have two, right? So Healing Deep Roots Counseling, or Healing Deep Roots, I'm sorry, 2020. The girls group is Circle of Sisterhood. Okay, so with the A, not a E. And then on Facebook, we are the Circle of Sisterhood as well.
I think you already answered my last question, but that's what I was going to ask. For all of those that I'm sure want to connect with you or learn more about or support your mission, how can viewers that watch this interview connect with you?
Mhm. And they can our website too, www.healingdeeprootscounseling.org.